Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a great day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we're back again with interesting people doing interesting things. And if you're watching us live, make a few comments, share your thoughts, and ask some questions. It's really simple and easy. So we're on platforms like LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, as well as YouTube. And if you'd like to follow us and get notified, go to YouTube, follow my channel, subscribe, like, comment, all of those social media things that people like to do to support people like me. So I love that you're here, and we have an amazing guest on, and I wanted to introduce you to Chris Decker. Chris has been an amazing individual going through social media. He's got a long backstory of adventures and some exciting things taking place. And with most entrepreneurs, we have things and we change and we evolve and we go through this journey of life. And we're going to be talking about that and what he's doing today, because it's I think a pretty exciting project. Chris, how are you doing today?
Hi, good morning, Russ. Thank you for bringing me onto this platform today.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I'm almost a year into it now. I'll be probably, I don't know, 250 episodes or so. I don't know. I didn't number them, so I'm not counting. And the whole point of this thing is to exercise the opportunity to introduce and highlight other people that are doing some interesting things. And I love the idea of bringing that to the table. So we can inspire and educate and maybe motivate a few people to do something bigger than what we're doing right now. And I know that you have a long history of social media. You've done meetups. We had a conversation. I was on your show and we were talking about the idea that, getting people together and making an impact in the market is one of the most important things we can do for our legacy. And I know that you are looking to leave a legacy of a few people. So I want to dive into that a little bit and peel back the onion and understand what it is you're working on right now and what your goals are with that project. Because I really thrive in that concept of what you're doing. So I want to share that with everybody here today.
Absolutely. I'll play it like this, and I don't know who I'm talking to today, but I know you're out there. Because I know I know I was there, where you feel alone and isolated, and the feeling is that the problems that you have today are 100% unique, and nobody will understand them. If they actually knew who you were, they would run away screaming, and it would be a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I felt that if I were to go to anybody with what was really going on, they would run away screaming from the dumpster fire that was my soul. And it's a bit of a lonely existence. And then what kind of ends up happening with that is I chased success and monetary reward, and I brought a lot of people along with me, and built community and built some foundational elements. But I want to stick to the isolation part. What happens when people finally get together, when you share that thing that you think people are going to run away from instantly? When you share that, I've done the data, I've done the research for you, I've A/B tested the data. 100% of the time, if you open up and share that thing, nobody will run away from you. In fact, they will end up sharing something about themselves that they had not previously shared with somebody. And what happens is you move from isolation into a new realm completely, which is acceptance. That happened for me, and that happened for several others. First, I wanted to do it with 10,000 people. 10,000 stories. And I figured that was going to take about 10 years. That's a little over 3 stories a day. I couldn't do it alone. I had to train other storytellers. That's when podcasting came along, and I've been training podcasters how to go out and facilitate these types of discussions and create their own network effects. Needless to say, we're going to blow through that 10,000 mark in 2.5 years. I had to think a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
And so today's mission is to work with the top 10 change makers globally and help 100 million people step out of isolation and into acceptance. So 100 million people that are thinking right now that no one wants to listen to their dumpster fire problems, that everybody's going to run away from them, and they're keeping it all inside and chasing something external. I want to let you know that there's a different kind of path, and a path to a much more fulfilled kind of life. And I've seen it happen countless times. I don't want to preach like a holier than thou kind of, I've figured out the way. This is for sure not an original concept for me. I actually got it from a 12-step recovery program when I was getting clean from drugs and alcohol, where it literally says on step 12, after I've done all this work on myself, after I've gone through my inventory and made amends with the people that have hurt me and the people that I've hurt, and, you know, stayed sober for over a year, then it says on the last step, go and help other people do the same thing. So that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah. And you know, you bring up several great points that I want to kind of dive into a little deeper. And the isolation piece, you know, and where it really hits home to a lot of people is, you know, right now we're going through some global changes. We're going through some dynamics that are, you know, out of our control. And the only thing we have control over is what we do and how we react to things. And I think sharing those emotions, sharing those reactions are really, you know, they're open and honest. And we're not alone in our feelings. There's other people working through very similar things. And when you have the opportunity to share those stories and kind of expand on those ideas, it really opens up that connection, that idea that I am not alone. We're all connected. And if you're connecting 100 million people with different challenges and different use cases, if you will, different emotional, different intellectual conversations, different community problems, you know, whatever it happens to be, there are other people out there that are struggling through the same process that you may have already gone through or you're going through. And I think it's important for us as humanity and also individuals. And this is why I get so excited about what you're doing is once you start telling those stories and you craft those elements and deliver them to the public, then all of a sudden we all realize that we're connected and we're not that different from each other. You know, we may have different opinions, and that's okay. And the idea is that we all have the same story. We're all humanity. We're all human. We're all in it together. So rather than fighting each other and battling uphill, let's understand where the common goals are, and then produce some amazing results with it. So what's the process that you do to, as you said, you know, create these storytellers, you know, help them along their journey?
Absolutely. And Russ, I have to say that it's really nice being on the other end of the hot seat, where because what great facilitators do, like yourself, Russ, is they give others the space and permission to share what they've always wanted to, but maybe haven't been given that space or permission yet. That little red live button does something magical. Magic. It's absolute magic.
You got the button, man.
Yeah.
Pull it out of you. I want to know. I want to know what's in the mind of Chris right now.
Exactly. Here it is. Going through trauma, abuse, neglect, all the list of things that could impact you later in life from early childhood. I went through those things. I'll spare the details right now. I'll spare the actual details.
We'll have another episode.
That'll be another episode. But that, for me, what that developed was an antagonist mindset. I like the evil genius mindset, the global domination mindset, me versus the world. I'm going to show you and make so much FU money that you can't touch me or hurt me or harm me, and I'm going to go do whatever I want. Dare I say the worst possible manifestation, where it's very narcissistic existence. I wanted to be like Mark Zuckerberg, walking in, and wearing the hoodie and saying, you can't touch me because I have all this money, and, scorched earth. I can just burn whatever bridge I want and it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Honestly, that excited me, like a pure gangster mindset. Yeah. Looking up to the Scarfaces of the world. And if we're going to relate that to storytelling, in any story, I was the bad guy. Although I personally felt like I was on a hero's journey, I was the hero. I was the Frodo Baggins saving the world. No, I wasn't. I was making the world worse. I was the bad guy.
You're the bad guy.
Correct. And going from a self sort of like hero's journey to, okay, I then becoming a guide actually changed everything. Where when I first sat in the podcast host seat and I had that first person come into my office with those $30 Amazon microphones and a Logitech C290 and horrible lighting, it did not matter. Something changed when the story no longer was mine and it was someone else's. The switch flipped instantly. I was no longer the hero in my own story. It was no longer look at me in this narcissistic mindset. It was no longer me versus the world, the gangster in the hot seat. It was, I am a guide to share these life-changing break out of isolation moments into acceptance moments from other people, and I'm here to share it with you, the audience. You're sitting in the room with us today. You get to be a part of this. I'm going to go put on the armor and I'm going to wield the sword and go to battle for you, my friends, and bring you the information that you need at whatever cost. And that was the change.
It's amazing what and I would almost take it one step further, Chris, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's that epiphany you receive when you find out what you're really truly meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, because we have this idea of what we're supposed to do. And sometimes it's a seed we plant, and sometimes it's a part of a nurture program that we grow up around. And the idea that things are supposed to be a certain way are not always how we end up being, because there are times where we have to have enough experience where we can actually relate to what it is we're doing. And when it's almost like, I always relate things to music. It's like when you get the groove, when there's that groove going and you're saying, I'm in the groove and I know that this is where I was meant to be and this is what I'm doing. And this is the only thing I need to do in order to survive or thrive. Mm-hmm. And then the switch turns and then you're saying everything else can fall by the wayside. And if I can continue to do this, I know that this is something important. This is going to be a legend. This is going to be my legacy. And I think that's what I hear you saying is, you had this attitude which fell away when you found out what you wanted to do and what was your goal and your niche in life. Is that a fair assessment? That
is absolutely a fair assessment. And I'll I'll bring it back even, and I'm so certain that this is true, and it may be an unpopular opinion, so sorry, world.
Sorry, not sorry.
At 13, I had a media professor lab, Vince Campy, Milliken Middle School. Vince, if you are somehow listening to this, thank you. Because Vince saw that I wanted to learn what he had to teach instantly. He was teaching me how to put titles on Premiere Pro videos, how to add music, how to create animations in Flash, and saw that I would spend my recess and lunch and after school just pouring into this. Decided to sort of show me extra, show me next, show me new, and saw that I had this aptitude for creation in the digital space. And I remember during a parent teacher conference, my adopted guardian at the time, looked at him and asked, this all seems like a lot of fun, but can he make a career in it? And he said, sure as anything, yes. So at 13, I technically knew exactly what I should be doing in life, and proceeded to spend the next decade trying out other things that were not what I was gifted at. And had I been cultivated from that age moving forward, completely full immersion, imagine where that could have gone. I don't want to live a life of regret. I still have plenty of time on this earth. Thank you, God. However, how many other 13-year-olds out there, maybe even younger, know exactly what they're gifted at and could start making an impact today?
Yeah. And it's absolutely true. And I'll also add a new dimension to this conversation too, Christopher, because there's a piece that, we think we want, and this is why enjoying the journey is so critical to a lot of people. They think, oh, I'll be happy when I get here, or I'll be happy when I get there, or I'll be happy when I make $1 million or 10 million or 100 million. Then I'll be happy. And I think a lot of people miss the point of, if you enjoy the journey and you learn through the experience of what it is you're going through, every piece of that information, every element that you go through, at each and every corner you turn, you're learning something that will play in your life in the future. And it's either going to be good or bad. It's not necessarily good or bad, but it's an experience, right? It's on the range of, how do I feel about this and what am I doing about this? And when we take responsibility for how we look at our outcomes, it's like, okay, I can do good or I can do better. And when we do, as my friend Wendy would say, we can do well by doing good. And when you're helping other people, it just seems like abundance never runs out. There's always an opportunity there. There's always something that's going to come up, and we're going to be able to produce results. And when you love and enjoy the journey, and you love and enjoy what you're doing, and it's out to help others, it's so much more gratifying. It feeds the soul, it feeds the environment, it feeds everything around us. And I just think it's an important mission for us to discover something that we love to do every single day and continue to do it. And I think I see that in you and what you're doing, and I just applaud and encourage you to continue to pursue it. So,
can I give your listeners today a scientific metric for this?
Sure.
Okay, so the state of what you're feeling, quite literally in the moment, is the quality of your life. If you're feeling grateful, sadness, fear, they can't really exist in that moment because you're too busy being grateful. Grateful is beautiful. Love is beautiful. Kindness, compassion. I got a whole list right here I can share with you. The best indicator of the path not to be on is if the fruits of that labor are anger, resentment, bitterness, sadness, And if you're spending most of your day in those, that is warning lights flashing, like get out, danger, Will Robinson.
Run away, Weir Watson. Run away.
Run away.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a litmus test. It works every time. And take an honest look at where you're feeling right now. What is the predominant emotion?
Yeah.
And that can change by, you may have to clean house a little bit. You might need some spring cleaning on your heart. Let's be honest. You might have to call a few people and say, I'm sorry that you don't want to.
Get real. Get real.
You may need to clean house a little bit.
Yeah.
But and then once you're in that zone of genius, like Russ is talking about, that area that you were shaped to serve, not the area that people are shaped to serve you, because I remember what it was like for me to be the narcissist, wanting everybody to do something for me. I remember that. Flip that, because I'm telling you, that path only leads to the anger, sadness, resentment, bitterness. It doesn't work. It does not work. It literally ends in death. Accelerated death. I thought I was going to die at 40. Flipping that to the serving others will develop peace, gratitude, joy, kindness, all the things that I'm telling you, the quality of life is literally exactly how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I believe. Hopefully something resonates with, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I know I'm talking right to you.
Well, here I'll give you an example, because I just want to give a shout out to some of the people in the pirate community. As Michael Evans, hey Russ, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Lance is here in the room. Good morning, Russ. Lance, congrats on your steps through recovery. That's we're talking about Pablo. Hello, pirates and Hyatt Ives from Houston. Good to be here. We got Lori Knudsen. I tried joining on LinkedIn, but when I went to your profile, it wasn't an option to click the posts. Well, I probably got banned. There's always a challenge, right? And Kenyatta Turner, thank you so much. Good morning. How are you? Hey, speaking of LinkedIn and Kenyatta, on the 17th, we have an event coming up that we'll be shouting out a little bit more about. And I just want to invite you, because it's going to be a special event that we're brewing up. Khan is an awesome individual. He's also a pirate. If you're not connected, you should probably connect. Good morning, Russ and Christopher. Ahoy, pirates. David Jones. Good morning, Russ. Thank you so much for being here. Khan says, my daughter has known from the age of 5 that she wants to be a storyteller and a digital animator. We have supported and encouraged her. She is now a freshman in one of the best programs in the country for 3D animation. Wow. That's fantastic.
Wow.
That's fantastic. The opportunities that can be found in storytelling itself, let alone 3D animation, is amazing.
Con, you have won at parenting.
Yeah. One. Yes. Winner, chicken dinner. Lance says, you are both amazing. Great show. Thank you so much. He says, great show. And then Foley is going to be on the show tomorrow. She's military. She's going to be talking about some of the things that we're going through right now. Thank you, Chris, for being open and raw enough to share your bruises and cuts and with us to grow. Thank you so much, Foley. I'm looking forward to our episode tomorrow. LinkedIn is consistently wonky.
I agree.
I can't disagree with that. Lance, maybe you're wearing nice shoes too. So nice shoes and show. Thanks, Lance. The whole point of this, Chris, is we're all going through, sometimes our scars are not seen. Sometimes our bruises are not, shared. And I think a lot of people are looking to heal through association. They're looking for the community that we can actually relate to and say, am I the only one feeling this way? Mm-hmm. And the answer is positively, absolutely no.
Mhm.
There are other people out there that are going through similar journeys, loss, you know, losing your job or losing a family member or, breaking a hip or, failing at a business and, not knowing what to do next or, feeling like you're not succeeding in what you're accomplishing or you're attempting to accomplish.
Or actually succeeding and not knowing what to do with the success.
Yeah. Yeah. It hits us at all levels at all times for everyone at some point in time. And I just encourage you to reach out, connect with Chris. He's a storyteller and we're doing very similar things. I got the Pirate Syndicate that I'm growing and I want to help other stories emerge from that. Chris, where do they find you? Where do people track you down and what's the best way for them to connect with you and get engaged and involved?
Absolutely. So I'm going to give you all my personal cell phone number. Send me a text, give me a call. If you are one of those people that if you feel like you're succeeding, but you're like, is this really it? Is there I can't believe there's not more to life. Give me a call. If you're down in the dumpster fire, then and you feel like there's no way out and you're completely isolated, I want you to give me a call, especially. So my personal cell phone number is 949-748-0504. 949-748-0504. If you're up here or you're down there, that's exactly where you should be. And I would like to speak with you.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for doing that. And thank you for the outreach. And for those of that don't know, Chris and I have been on a couple of opportunities to have conversations like this. And I really encourage you to, if you're feeling like you need something, but you don't know what it is, just reach out to people, And also as an FYI, September is Suicide Prevention Month. And, a lot of people right now are going through some challenging moments. There's some challenging things that are taking place in the world. And, I've talked a lot about, being resilient and building up your resiliency. And part of that process is connecting with people, making sure you have somebody that you're accountable to, make sure that you're connected with somebody that's going to come and follow up and say, you need to, Russ, you need to get your stuff together, put it together, get it in a pile and make sure that you have it done right. And this is important. And if you're not in a mastermind or you're not in a group or you're isolating, I encourage you to step outside and make those adjustments in your life and talk to people like Chris and, share a story or two and just have a conversation because it's so important for us to work together right now more than any other time in history, in my opinion. So Chris, what's next for you? What's on the horizon? What's the next step for you?
So within year one of this particular business that I'm doing, I want to change how B2B sales are done. I think modern day sales has created a cynical market.
Mm-hmm.
I want to change that completely by training. You're an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson. So let's just get that out of the way. If you're in any position in life, you're selling something, right? Yeah. So I want to teach people that there's a different way to sell, and it comes from and changing the definition of selling to service and having an ethical persuasion mindset instead of just trying to jam a product down people's throats. Like we're talking about, like we are entering an age of authenticity on our planet, in our world. And if you can't catch up to authenticity, you will be left in the dust. I'm telling you right now, if you cannot catch up, you will be left in the dust. There is no returning to our old way. It's not going to happen. They call it the new normal. It is absolutely true.
It's
nothing. We are not going back There is no back. We do not have a time machine. We haven't invented that yet. I just saw the movie Tenet. It is trippy as heck, but we don't have that technology yet.
Yeah. If that's not a teaser, I don't know which one it is. So I totally agree with you. I think a lot of people, if you base your future on relationships, authenticity, and the idea that you can serve people, I think that's an incredibly powerful combination. So, and what's the process? What's the process, Chris?
The process by which to do that is learning how to invite people into your world. This is a process of self-discovery and self-awareness. Now, if you're like me, you feel like if you were like me back in my narcissistic evil genius, take over the world, make a bunch of FU money, the idea of somebody fully understanding you or you fully understanding yourself means that you're going to lose your competitive edge. You're going to become weak sauce. I will tell you right now, that is absolutely not the case, because the person with the fewest blind spots wins every single time. That's from Keith Cunningham.
Yeah.
Examining those blind spots, having some help and some guidance and someone who cares enough to say, dude, that was no bueno. To have some people like that in your life who are willing to call you out on your nonsense instead of the people that work for you that are only going to agree with your ideas and say yes, and they're going to say great job. Seriously, if you are relying on the people that are just working for you, you're not going to get real objective feedback. I'm telling you right now. If money is going from your pocket to theirs, they are going to say whatever it takes to continue that money flowing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wanted to give a shout out too here, because Foley says, Chris, you're already my favorite person for opening up your heart and keep being wonderful, man.
Thanks
so much. And Lance says, I met Russ 13 years ago in Houston and loved the selection of hats. I always have hats out in the public eye. Are you keeping up with adding to your collection? Yes, absolutely. Above that, I love intelligence and wit. You're great inspiration. Thank you so much, Lance. We got to catch up some point in time. I love your recognition of, and Foley says, for those that are listening on the podcast, I love your recognition of authenticity and being a key performance indicator in your day and age. Thank you for sharing this. And the network is a huge takeaway. Thank you so much, Foley. And Ken says, problem solving through buying facilitation, as I call it. That's fantastic. And it's, like you said, we're all selling. We're all in this world to either sell an idea, sell an ambition, or sell a product or service. And when it's solution, when you're working together to find a solution to an outcome, it's always much easier for us to discover the outcome together. And I think that's part of the process as well. So anyway, Chris, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you and look forward to many more conversations and connections. As I said before, if you're listening or you're watching the replays or you're listening on the podcast, or you go check out russjohns.com/pirate broadcast and look up all of the episodes. We got over 240 episodes now that you can, a range of topics and subjects and conversations just like this. And I really encourage you to reach out, connect with Chris, make sure that you're doing what you can to open up, tell your story, share your mission, and share your ideas, and allow somebody to call you out on it when you're bumping in the corners and not sure where to go next. Because that really helps, and that really encourages a productive outcome rather than one that's a dumpster fire, as Chris would say. So thank you so much for being here. As always, kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Take care, Chris. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.